Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is the second video in the series where I'm going to share everything that you need to know about Instagram, different features growing on Instagram and a lot more. As you can see, I'm at a very beautiful location, and no, this is not edited, it's all real. And I'm doing so much work for you. I'm on a vacation and I'm using these pretty backgrounds to record videos for you guys to share my knowledge so that it can help you. So what you have to do in return is to comment, like, share and subscribe. If you found this video useful, you have to make sure that you comment below and let me know so that it keeps me motivated. It gives me an idea that yes, what I'm doing is worth my time, worth my efforts, and I will keep doing it more. I'll keep sharing it more. If you have not watched the first video, make sure to watch that first, because all these videos are in a sequence and it will be most useful if you watch them in that particular sequence itself. So make sure to watch the first video and then come to this, in case you have not watched that. In today's video, we are going to talk about username. So everything you have to know about Instagram username, how to choose the right username, what all things you should be considering, and everything in detail. So stay tuned, because this video is going to be very helpful for you. The first point that you should consider while choosing a username is that it should reflect your identity. It should reflect you as an artist. So whatever you do, it can be your niche, it can be your medium, it can be your style of art that you can include in your name. For example, there is a very close friend of mine, Chetna. She's a mandala artist and her Instagram handle is Mandalas by Chetna. So she has depicted in her username that she's a mandala artist. She has expressed herself, her identity in the username itself. It makes people very easy to understand what exactly do you do. In my case, I perform a lot of art forms, from mural paintings to canvas paintings, and if I talk about different art forms, then there are Madhubani, Varli, I've also done Gond art, I do some modern art, then I do mandala. So there's a lot of things that I do. So it's not possible for me to include all these names in my username. It will be too long, too complicated. So I have a collective name which is art, because all of these things follow inside the art category. That's why my name has art in it. The next point is it should be unique and distinctive. Do not copy someone's name or do not take an idea from someone else. Your name should be unique. Your name should be different from what others are doing. So just because I have given you an example of Chetna and her name is Mandalas by Chetna, doesn't mean you will keep your name as Mandalas by Aarti or Mandalas by... No. Try to think of something that is unique to you. That is something that would make you different from others. In case you are not that creative, in case you are not able to come up with such a name, then what you can do is go on Google, search for brand name generators. There are lots of websites that generates brand names. So what you have to do is you have to just include all the keywords that you do. For example, if you are into acrylic and gouache, you will use both of these and they will combine these two words to give you lots of different creative combinations. Alternatively, there is another method. You can go to ChatGPT and you can give the prompt, I am a so and so artist. You have to mention whatever you do. I'm looking for a creative username that resonates with my brand, resonates with my identity, makes it relatable, make it short and concise, and include these keywords. Next, you have to mention all the keywords that you want to be mentioned in your name. It will give you lots of different options. If you're not happy, give me more ideas. Keep creating more ideas. You can give another prompt to make ChatGPT give you more names. The name for my offline workshops that I'm conducting in Cubbon Parks, Strokes and Stories, I explained everything. I explained what I'm doing, where I'm doing, everything to ChatGPT, and I made it give me a list of names that I could use for my sessions. And then From the list, I chose this one was the best. So you can use all these different platforms to generate a very nice name, a very nice username for your account. The next thing is to keep it concise. You have to make sure it's concise, it's short. Nobody likes long names, nobody remembers long names. So you have to make it short. You have to keep it short. Don't go extremely long. No. Short, crisp, and to the point. That's it. The next point that you have to consider is it should be easy to spell and remember. So do not use very complicated English words which are not used generally. That will make it hard to be spelled and remembered by people. It should be very easy. It should be really simple. Avoid any kinds of numbers or special characters. There are lots of different accounts. If they try one name and they are not getting that name is not available on Instagram, they add different kinds of numbers so that they get that particular username. Do not do that. If you have long-term goals, if you have plans to make it big, your name should be really professional. So avoid any special characters, avoid any kind of numbers. Consider future growth. What you have to do is your name should be something that does not become irrelevant when you include different things in your portfolio in future. So for example, let's take my username as an example, Artistic Ruja. Now in future, whatever I do in art, I can move to different art forms. I can even be a resin artist. I can even be from murals to I can just go to painting floors or anything. But everything will come under art. So my name is so broad that it has very less chances of becoming irrelevant until and unless I move to a completely new niche like fashion, food blogging or travel, something like that. Otherwise, this name will stay relevant. Now, if you have a very specific name, if you have terms like resin, mandalas, acrylic painting, something like that in your username, what happens is, if you try a different art forms, that becomes irrelevant to what you are trying to convey to your audience. Okay? If you already have painting, if you already have a certain word, let's say you have resin in your name, and now you are making mandalas, it makes no sense because your name does not reflect what you are doing. So in that case, that name becomes irrelevant to what you are currently doing. So you have to consider future growth as well when you are choosing the right username for your Instagram account. You also have to see its availability on different platforms. When I say different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Google. These are the most common platforms that you should see that this name should not have been used by someone else. Why? Because in future, like at this moment you are on Instagram, but in future if you want to move to a new platform, if you also want to grow in that platform, you will not be using a whole new username. If you take my example, my Instagram is Artistic Ruja, my Facebook is Artistic Ruja, my Pinterest is Artistic Ruja, my YouTube is Artistic Ruja, my website is also Artistic Ruja. So the Artistic Ruja username was also available as a website domain. You have to make sure that it is easy for people to understand, easy for people to recognize and follow you on different platforms. And for that, having a single username across all different platforms is extremely recommended. The next point you have to consider is brand alignment. Whatever your name is should align with your brand, what you are doing. Now I am an artist. My name says Artistic Ruja. I cannot be sharing travel videos or food blogging videos. No. My brand is all about art. My name is all about art and my content is all about art. All these three things should be synced together. That means your one account has to be all about one hobby. If you have different hobbies, if you want to showcase different talent of yourself, make sure you have different Instagram accounts for that. one for art, one for photography, one for cooking. Make as many as you want. But one particular account should be specific and should represent just one part of yourself. Until and unless you are a lifestyle blogger who shares about lifestyle. So in that case, you will be sharing about travel, food, whatever you're making, art and all. So that is a very broad category and everything falls under it, right? But generally as an artist, you have to make sure you do not mix all these different things together. You should also check for trademarks. Make sure whatever name you are choosing for your brand should not be trademarked or copyrighted by any other brand. This will help you in future whenever you are trying to convert your brand in a profession on a huge level. Because at that time, having these complicated names which are trademarked will cause you legal troubles. Also consider incorporating different types of keywords. I have talked about this in very short in our previous video. I'm sorry, but again I would like to mention here. Include different keywords that make your account easily visible, easily accessible in the search results. So if your name has Mandala and any person search for mandalas on Instagram, there are chances that your account would appear in the search results. So consider using different types of keywords in your name. You'll see that in my name it's art. My username has art and my name has different services that I provide. The next step is to test. You have to test this name with your friends. Take their feedback. I only mean constructive feedback. They may make fun of you, that's what friends are for. But anyways, you have to test it with your friends. Sometimes friends give you the best advice. In my case, my earlier username, I think 3 or 4 years back, my username used to be Craftastic Ruja. Yes, that was the name I started my work with. But one day, my best friend comes to me and says, hey, why is your name Craftastic Ruja? You are not making any types of craft. You are making art. So it does not resonate. And that was the day I realized, yes, what she was mentioning was absolutely true. And that was the day when I changed my name across all platforms to Artistic Ruja. And since this day, I have been following that. So make sure whatever name you are coming with, you test it with your family and your friends. You can also choose a name that has a very personal connection to you and your brand. That gives your brand a real identity. Last year, me and my mom, we launched her brand, which was to make artist pouches. Various pouches with sketchbook slots, pen slots, brush slots and pencil slots, so that artists can easily carry their supplies while traveling. She wanted her mother's name to be included in the username. Although my mother's name is Sarita, but her username had the name Neelam, because that was my grandma's name. And my mom wanted the brand to be dedicated to her mother. And that's why she had an emotional connection with that name. I knew this would not improve the SEO, but yes, it does give your brand a story. Having an emotional connect or having a story behind your name also gives people a reason to relate more with you. But in that case, what you have to make sure is, like I made her username with Neelam, but for the second half, we made sure it related to what she does there or what her brand does. She was into customized stitching. She would make pouches and roll-ups. So her name was Neelam Stitchesia. It showed that she is stitching different kinds of products on customized requests. So these are all the points that you have to consider when you are choosing the right username for yourself. I hope this video is useful for you, and if yes, you have to make sure that you comment below and let me know that it was useful, and then I'll keep making more videos for you. And I'll see you in the next video.